Okay, so wanted to show a great comic book deal for the Christmas period. So if you're at home and want to do some reading and kill some time, or you just want something to give to a person you know that loves comic books and you might have forgotten to gift at the moment, or just give them as a little extra, then there's some stuff here for you. We're at fanatical.com, and if you go into the bundles section under books, you can see they've got comic book bundles that include Cyberpunk 2077, Star Trek universe, The Witcher, but the one we're going to talk about now is the Valiant Hero Universe bundle, which has got 26 days left on the clock to claim it. So if we go into that, you'll be able to see that it comes in 3 tiers, lowest tier being £4.75, next tier £11.35, and the tier after that £18.95. Now, this is the current re-release of the Valiant Universe reboots that were done around the 2012 mark, I think, and these were really good stories. These are essentially DRM-free PDF downloads, as it says here, that you don't need any special app to use. You can read them on any PDF reader, or you can put them into a comics app if you've got one, such as panels for MacBook, or sorry, not MacBook, panels for iPad or iPhone, or Comic Cat if you're using a device such as a Kindle to read on, which I use both. And these are big books. They're 350 to 500 pages per book, so you get plenty of value. And I say they're essentially the equivalent of, say, Marvel Epic collections. So they collect pretty much the entire runs on these stories. The first tier has got Faith, which is a great story on its own about a girl with powers that allow her to fly and how she tries to fit into the world. You also get the Valiant, which is probably a book you wouldn't want to read straight off on its own. You'd want to probably read some of these other ones that come in the later tiers to get an idea of where you are, because this other book in the tier 2, Unity, that's a bit like the Valiant Universe's Avengers. When you can read these, the Valiant and Unity on their own, but it's better if you've read some of these other books to sort of get you into the characters. So you've got Harbinger, which is essentially the main thread through the Valiant universe. A lot of stories interconnect and bounce off what's happening in the Harbinger storyline. That's a really good one to read as well. They're kind of like the X-Men, but they're not. It's violent, it's got fun characters, there's sense of humour, it covers serious topics. It's a great read. It really is a good read, and you'll get the whole story pretty much in there. Now the next one is Archer and Armstrong. Again, they're sort of a comedy double act. I won't go too much into what's going on there, but one has got, well, they've both kind of got powers. One is very strong and immortal. The other has got an ability to, a bit like Taskmaster, I suppose, in Marvel. But they're this sort of old couple that it's a comedy action book. It's a good buddy film type book, and it's worth a read. This is the best tier here, the top tier. They know what they've done with this because they put the Ninjak book in the top tier. Now, Ninjak is the best of this Valiant reboot. It's a story about ninjas, spies. It's a British superhero, Colin King. He lives in a castle, so he's definitely British. And it is one where you just get a fun action martial arts story with espionage mixed in there. Why they made a film of Bloodshot before they made a film of Ninjak, I'm not sure. But Ninjak is like reading a movie, and it's got everything any sort of ninja film martial arts fan would want. Rai is set in the future of the Valiant universe, so it's a bit disconnected, but there are people and things that will pop up in that story. Shadow Man's a bit of a Marmite story. It's about him going into a sort of other magical world, kind of like your Doctor Strange type stuff. Exo Man of War is essentially Conan crossed with Iron Man. It's an ancient warrior who gets a suit of armor, a sentient suit of armor that increases his power and lets him fight against slavery and things like that. It's a good story, to be fair. Exo Man of War. I prefer Ninjak if I had to choose, but Exo Man of War is a good story. And Bloodshot. This Bloodshot run's really good. If you remember the Vin Diesel film from a few years back, you'll wonder why they didn't just adapt these storylines and follow this story, because the Bloodshot you see in that film is nothing like this run, really. And it's a good, solid, just action storyline. I would say if you want to try something different, you're a bit bored of Marvel and DC, totally give this a try. Value for money wise, $18.95 for all the content you get in here. The size of these books is fantastic. And if you look down here, look, there's a little voucher. You get 5% off as well. So I would say try it. You can always buy a different tier. If you want to start at the lower tier, that's fine. But I would say just go straight in. Spend some of your Christmas money or whatever on this. Get the whole lot. And then you've got essentially the full Valiant relaunch universe up to a point. Whether or not they bring out more, such as the character Toyo Harada, we'll see. But this is a great foundation, and there are some fantastic stories in there to read. So look, hopefully that's helped you out with some deals for you. I'll do another video looking at the Humble Bundle website because there's a couple of deals that are soon to expire on there. But this is a great one that I think will probably get overlooked because not a lot of people go to Fanatical for comic books.